the traditional custodians of the land we are meeting on, the Naganmal and Nagamri people. We pay respect to the elders past, present, and emerging. We acknowledge that the name Roni was taken from the people of the Wari Wari nation without permission, and we are striving to do better for future reconciliation. Hello, namaste, and welcome back to Disha in Australia. Hi, Ria.
Hi, Disha.
So today I have my school friend on board, and we are talking about having school friends as an international student or just as a student and being in the same city. So, how are you feeling today?
Quite nervous.
If this is gonna be no comments, you're
Yeah,
out.
no comments. How are you feeling? Just no comments.
What do
That's
you
one
mean by
question
that?
you don't ask international student. That's how you are feeling.
No, you asked that question because we do a well-being check, and apparently you are on the show with the psych major. We ask these questions every single time.
Then no comments. Just no comments.
Okay, so
But good day. We are finally in the Disha in Australia podcast. Yay!
we made it. Oh my
We made
god.
it.
Yeah. I remember Ria has been asking me since my second semester of uni.
Yeah, guys. I was like texting her
When
every
is
day.
it happening? And then this Monday I was like, oh, so who's coming on my radio show? I was like, Ria.
I was like, damn, dream come true.
And then I was like, Ria, semester 5, your turn finally.
Finally.
She's like, oh my god, yeah, let's go. But no, I'm actually very grateful. So thank you so much for coming to the show in Australia, and I really appreciate your presence. She's like the professional vato.
Yeah, I was like, is my presence actually appreciated?
Yeah, it is. Like I really do appreciate your presence.
I do, same.
All right. So thank you so much for whoever have joined live with us. So we'll start with the first question, which is, how is your expectations in school versus in university?
I was like,
How was your expectation of uni when you were in school versus now when you are in uni actually?
for sure, I was like, I don't know, adulting gonna be that this glam.
Mm.
What's my expectations? Interesting. It's nothing same. Nothing is same. What was your expectations?
Mm. So for me, I felt uni abroad would be like the Kejo's school. So like Karan Johar's movies, main character, I'll
Oh,
put up like that when I go to uni abroad. In
and then
India,
when
I did not have that expectations because I got into Christ and I had like that because I went to the convent school, then going to a convent university,
Mm.
I knew it was going to be strict. And because my friend did eventually go to Christ, so me and my friend went together, got in together. She did eventually go to Christ, and she has mentioned it so many times that it's like really, really strict, which is what I expected because I feel like unis in India are much more strict than in Australia. And then because it's like school 2.0, but just
Yeah.
a bit like 1% more freedom. But universities in Australia is more in terms of like you have the liberty to do whatever you want to do, but at the same time you are on your own devices. Like you are accountable for whatever you do. One wrong move, your accountability. If you do right moves, that's also your accountability, which is good. Like in India, teachers will spoon feed you, they'll make sure that you are doing things. Australia, no one cares that whatever you are doing, but at the same time, it's good and bad in a way. Um, because then you have to be responsible for your grades, you have to be responsible for the things that you do. Obviously there's support available. I feel like Australia is really good in terms of providing support, and if you ask for it, there is so much support. But um, for me, the expectations for university abroad was much more like, you go, you have fun, you can do so many different things. And but at the same time, I was keeping myself open and not expecting a lot, because then it could be really sad when your expectations do not meet the reality. But so far, touch wood, I think there could not have been a better experience than what I am having right now. And I'm very in content with this experience. Like, I love my life abroad. I just really like how it turned out.
To be honest, Disha, I do agree with you. I came up with no expectations, being very honest, but life actually turned out to be so good here. I'm
Yeah,
loving the uni life. I'm loving the life we are getting a chance to build by ourselves.
yeah,
And I do agree with the part that we didn't get that chance back home, like in the Indian uni. I think the education system is quite strict, which is good. But I do agree. I'm loving the life here as well.
yeah. I feel like one of the major things for me that I was hoping to when I study abroad was to be known by my own name,
Mm,
because back home you are known as your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, or
so
like
true.
a mini
Yeah,
version of your parents,
parents.
or your so-called relatives, so-called family members, someone.
Mm,
And I didn't want to be those terms
so
ever.
true.
And
Mm,
so, as much as I really appreciate and really respect the hard work my parents have done and like my family has done to get that reputation, but at the same time I feel like it just diminishes your individuality.
mm,
It just feels like you are known as someone but not as who you are.
yeah.
So I didn't want to be known as this person's this something, but I wanted to be known as by my name. Like, people should know
Tisha
that.
Taneja, you
Yeah,
go girl.
exactly, I want to be known like that.
That.
And that was the only goal that I came when I started
I
here.
think we do align on the same page up
Yeah,
here. That was the only reason. I love when someone called me, oh, she's the granddaughter of XYZ, but I wanna know, hey, I'm Ria Ahuja. That's
exactly.
the
That
personality.
was the only goal for me as well.
Mm,
And I feel like I have worked really hard to build that. And I'm very happy with what I've done. And it feels really nice when people know you by the work that you have done, by the things you have achieved, and by the human you are, and not by because you are related to this person in this way. And even in Australia, if I like start working for someone, or like if I am like very close friends with people, I still don't want to be resonated with like, oh, this is this person that works in XYZ company
mm.
and that's why I know her. Remember me for the human I am, and that's the goal, and that has always been the goal for me.
So true. I think I've seen you going, like walking non-stop to be where you are today. And for that, I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, now we know her as Disha Taneja.
Yes, and I'm very happy with that. And it's like just the beginning, because I'm just 20. We are just
Yeah,
20.
just
There's
try.
so much
So, what's your
life.
plan, Disha? What are you planning to
There's
do
no
next?
plan. That's
This
my plan.
that's how you
Because
live
I
life.
go with the flow. I
Good.
just like go with how I feel, and I feel that's the best way.
I think that's one of my motto of my life as well. You never know how your next day
Yeah.
is, so better be happy. You get the low grade, work for it next time. If you something goes wrong, work for it next time. I think this morning I spilled my coffee and then I spill and then I make the coffee and then I spill it again. And I was 30 minutes late to the work already.
Wow.
Instead of being like, oh, my whole day gonna be so bad. Here I am yapping
See?
again. So you
Yeah.
gotta have a smile on
It's
your
just your
face.
perspective.
Mhm.
It's literally just how your perspective is. Because um, it took me a while to realize, but only you have the power to change your life.
Mhm.
And it's crazy how things work out for you the moment you start believing in yourself. And I guess that even if no one stands up for you, you have to be there for yourself. The days when you feel your worst, the days when you feel like I don't want to get out of the bed, or when you spill the coffee and you're like, oh, what do I do next? That's the time when you would not have anyone telling you that, oh, it's fine, just go on with it. You have to tell that to yourself. And that's the most beautiful thing I've learned
Mm.
studying abroad, because I don't think I would have gotten these moments back home. Because
Mm.
if I mess something up, my mom is just like one call away. I'll just call her and it's fixed. If I have to get some things done, you know how like here you have to go and get your stuff
So,
done together by yourself, like your bank stuff, and you call your dad back home,
but
it's done.
it's done.
You just don't even think about it, and
I'm
you had so much luxury back home, and then
back home.
yeah.
And I that remind me of one of the incident. I think few weeks back, I cried for the whole day just because I had to clean a fan, and I never knew in my life that we clean fans as well. I saw my fan and I'm like, oh shit, do we clean that?
Wait,
Is
do
it
you have a
supposed to?
fan?
Yeah, I have a fan.
I've never seen a ceiling fan here.
We have a ceiling fan in my apartment,
Wow.
apparently, luckily.
Oh, so
But
you had to
yeah,
clean for inspection.
inspection. And I was so sad. I cried. I actually cried from 9 in the morning till 6 in the evening. I was like, do we clean the fans? But I do want to add that it's okay to not have everything figured out.
Mm, mm.
It's okay to take break. It's okay to doubt yourself sometimes, and it's okay to not.
Cry.
Yeah, it's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry. Cry as much as you want, because sometimes when you just keep piling up that those moments where you could actually cry and let it out,
Mm,
it actually becomes worse. And I feel like I've been there in those stages where like, oh, you're strong, you don't cry, but you are strong and that's why you cry, because there's so much strength in just letting yourself the way you want,
mm,
and not just putting yourself in a box of like, oh, this is not a trait of this particular personality. No, you don't have to define yourself in those boxes. Create your own box, be like you want to be. And that's just the beauty of individuality that you learn a lot when you come abroad.
mm. Disha, so you want to share some of your experience back in school and how it's so different up here?
I feel like one of the key things that I felt in India was people like your schoolmates would not be as supportive as I have friends in uni,
Mm,
because people would actually bully you to a point where you would
mm,
start missing school or do things that you would not want to do.
mm.
And they also like take you away from where you are going.
So true.
And I'm pretty sure you had similar experiences of bullying, and a lot of people had them. But like in university abroad, a lot of people support you for what you're doing, even if it's just the smallest things.
Mm.
And the fact that you are being seen,
Same.
which is something that I appreciate so much, because back home, if you do a mistake, you are like immediately told that, oh, you don't even know how to do that, and you're just made to feel like, oh, you are dumb or something.
It's not even like, oh, you don't know how to do it, or like, you are doing that. That's
Yeah,
that judgment.
exactly. It makes you feel judged, it makes you feel dumb, it
Mm.
makes you feel as if you're doing something wrong. And so much respect to people who keep doing amazing stuff despite all of that. um, but in Australia, maybe it is also because you as a human also evolve and change over
Shame.
time.
Mm.
So like I would say in here also you'll find the same people that would try to cut you down, right? That would try to judge you, bully you, so that you don't do what you want to do. But you have to be stringent in your boundaries, and you have to have that insane level, I would say delusional level, of self belief
Mm.
that no one can destroy your confidence. And that's how you roll. That's literally how you roll, because I'm not kidding, it gets so lonely here sometimes. You feel like, oh, no one is my friend, and you
Friend.
feel isolated, and you don't have your parents to go and give a hug, and you don't have your sibling, and you don't have anyone that you can like genuinely count on.
Mm.
Because sometimes it feels like these are all the connections I made like 6 months ago or a year ago.
Mhm.
I cannot rely on them. But at the same time, you have to only rely on yourself in those cases. That's why I said there should be a delusional self belief that you should have when you come here, because honestly, no matter how much you'll say, oh, this is my best friend, or like, we are gonna be together forever, nothing is forever, especially in Australia. I'd say nothing.
And there's
um
no word called bestie.
yeah.
Uh, uh, yeah, there's no
That's why
besties.
bestie is like such a common word. Like,
I
people
think
hang out for
bestie is
2
a
minutes and
huge
you're like,
word.
we are besties. That
Yeah.
used to be a huge word back in
Back
school.
in, I think this generation is kind of cool. And
Look,
like
we
word
sound like old
hate,
women.
yeah. I mean, the word hate is a huge as well, but for them, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because back in school, best friend meant
Men best friend.
something.
Something, yeah.
It meant like you guys are close and you
Close.
guys will turn up for each other when needed, and you don't even have to like ask your friend to turn up for you. They'll automatically turn up for
Turn
you.
up.
But here it's like, I met you for a
I
second. We
see.
are
Yeah, you are my
besties.
bestie.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure you're not gonna turn up to that 2 a.m. call that I'll call you. So I
so,
don't know which besties are we talking about,
so
but
there are
yeah,
no
sure.
besties.
Yeah.
Adulting is actually glam. It
Uh,
is.
but apart from those experiences, I think there have been equal number of good and bad experiences.
Mhm.
I feel like back home there was a lot of comfort, and because everything is very accessible,
Mm.
which I do not feel is the same way in Australia.
Mm.
Like, healthcare is so hard to access, whereas in India you can get a doctor in like 5 minutes, 10
Factors.
minutes, hardly 15 minutes. But like if you go to a clinic nearby,
Here,
um, in India,
India.
but here it's like, mm,
I,
uh,
I think I booked my first session,
yeah.
uh, um, and it took like a month. I'm like, I'm in depression, bro. I need a, I
You
need a
need a
session.
therapist. Yeah.
Do I need to wait a month for that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And one of my friend was once in an emergency situation. Emergency took 3 hours.
Yeah. Life in Australia,
Seven hundred
guys.
dollars for 15 minutes consultation in emergency.
Yeah. Life in Australia, guys. We would just define it as life in Australia.
Yeah, so there are goods and bads in everything.
I
And
would change the word comfort. I think for me, it would be more like coming out of a box.
mm,
I do feel like I felt comfort in my life here. I mean, we all grew up in a different
yeah.
home style, and finding your own comfort and building the word comfort around you by yourself. And I think for me, the comfort lies here.
Mm,
But I do, yeah,
yeah.
life was more
I
easy there.
totally I totally get it.
Mm,
I'd say even though life is hard here as compared to India,
mm,
um I'd still prefer this because it gives me challenges every single day. But back home, whenever even I'm home for summer,
mm.
it just feels like I'm back to how I was 3 years ago. Like,
Go.
you don't change, but here you change every single day and you build yourself and you fall in love with the human that you are building, because you are not the same. I would
Mm.
not be the same person I was when I entered in my first semester of uni. I think I've grown so much. But whenever I'm back home in summer in India,
Mm.
when it's winters in India, um, I just feel like I'm the same person I was in 2022. Like, seriously, nothing changed. And I'm happy with that. I'm actually very comfortable in that.
So when you say you were the same person, do you wanna tell us how did you changed? What's the new Disha looks like? How new Disha feels? How new Disha acts?
I think for me, the new Disha, I think, okay, so the difference in my personality or in terms of the things I do is based on the things I've explored and learned about myself.
Mhm.
So, I used to have like major like anger issues. I used to get super angry, but I don't think I've gotten angry in like a year or something.
That's so
No.
true. I
Because
used to
I'm
speak
so
so
calm.
loud,
Yeah.
and now I feel like, is it my voice? Why I'm speaking so? I do speak loud with Disha,
Yeah.
but
But that's like an acceptable tone when,
right?
because you know that it's the same sort of
Yeah,
vibe.
back home I used to be like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hi." Yeah,
More poised.
more boys, and I used to hate everything I used to do back home,
Mm.
and that came from a very good school bullying as well. I won't blame them as well. They were kids
They
like
taught
us
you
as well.
lessons.
Yeah, they taught us a very good lessons, but they were young as well.
Mm.
But sometimes young people doesn't realize that how their words and action can put a huge trauma on someone's life.
Mm.
And
And
now I
that's
love everything.
and
Please
that's the
hate me too.
emotional intelligence
Yeah.
factor as well.
Well,
Because like back when would be in 2020, when I would be in school or something, if someone bullied me, I wouldn't be like, oh, I understand where you're coming from.
oh
No, I'd
no.
be like, how dare
How
you?
dare you?
Yeah, but
I even
as
did that, bro. At least say something which I
yeah,
did.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then like now when you look at the 2025 versions of us, even though it's just a 5 year span, you would understand why it happened.
Happen.
And
And
even though when you'll have like problems here, when you're
mm,
like in the middle of an argument or you are like into something, you won't be the same person you were back when you were 15-year-old, and you won't shout and you won't scream and you won't take revenge. You'd rather try to understand it in a more mature way and
wait,
try to be empathetic, and also create strict boundaries if things are just not working for you too, and choose your different path. You
yeah,
won't be like, you did this to me, I'll do this
this
back to
back.
you. This
Yeah.
is That's the evolution. That's the things that you learn.
I think then there will be no difference among them and you.
Yeah.
For sure. I think revenge is not a solution to anything. Violence is not a solution to anything. It leads to nothing.
Yeah.
But definitely, I do agree. It, it impacts someone's life fully. You
Mm.
won't realize how your word will impact anyone's life. And let's be very honest. I used to be very angry when someone used to call me, "Oh, you're fat." I'm not. I'm healthy. I eat well.
Yeah.
And it's my
Absolutely.
body. I
It's
mean,
my body. That's the
have
thing.
have you seen the transforming videos?
Yeah.
We can go boom in a day. It's on us, guys. Like, let's be
Exactly.
easy. I wanna eat, I will eat. You wanna hate, you hate. You wanna judge, you judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are so many differences in terms of the things that you hear. So like remember when I met you for the first time in my first semester when you came to ANA
Mm.
campus, you were the first person who told me this, okay? You were like, oh, you are so calm, you are so different from your social media because you feel so hyped when you are on
Did
social
I?
media. Huh?
Did I?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, I've never really, no one has ever told
Okay.
me this before, that I'm calm.
Hmm.
Because everyone says that, oh, you're super hyper and you just like keep
Hmm.
being around
Hmm.
everywhere and doing all the wild stuff. But um that was the first time I ever heard that, oh, you are so calm.
Hmm.
um I didn't really realize it that much. But then another time I was sitting with a friend, and we were just having like a conversation, and she was like, one of the things I really admire about you is how calm you are. And I was like, where in my personality do you feel I am calm?
So, do you
And
feel like you were not calm?
no, I was never calm back home, never. And then this was the second time someone told me that I'm calm. And then I shot a collaboration with one of the brands, and their founder met me, and she said, oh, I was wondering who is Disha, because when I meet you, you are so calm, but the
Calm.
video was so
So
hyper.
hyper.
And that
Hmm.
was the third time I heard I'm so calm. And I was like, let me just like take a moment to reflect and actually see, am I calm? And
I
then I
think.
realized that yes, I am calm when I'm having a proper conversation. So like whenever there's a natural nice
Hmm.
conversation, And it's also like when I'm around work and entrepreneurial areas,
Mhm.
I'm very calm because I need to think rationally and I need to listen to what you are saying, because you can't mess things up when you're working. And also because doing psychology has made me very reflective of what I speak, what I do, how I
Mhm.
behave. And that just like makes you be very aware of your actions.
Mhm.
And that's when I realized, now I see why I've become calm. But even like, if you ask like some of my friends, they would never say I'm calm, because you are different in with different people, and that's like different versions of you that keep changing.
Are you saying that I bring the calm side of you?
I think a lot of people do. As long as we're having just a proper, nice conversation, I'm calm.
Calm, yeah.
The moment you want to do something fun, I'm not calm. Like, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's kill it
Let's
today.
go.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. But have you noticed something that people have told you that you didn't really realize?
Definitely. I think I'm a quite different person what I used to be.
Mm,
And sometimes I even didn't recognize myself as well. So I have told myself, oh, you used to be,
mm, yeah.
so hyper and so extroverted back home. And I see a version of myself who's, of course, calm. Of course, calm. I
Yeah.
am calm, guys. Who's
Stay
very
calm.
positive.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
love this positive side of
Like
me.
optimism comes
Yeah.
out, and it's like,
Yeah, that
it's really
that
cool.
motivation, it was never there back home.
Mm, mm.
Oh, you got 70s, yeah, okay. Here, oh, you got 70, you better
Get
work
80
well.
next time.
I'm like, is it me?
Mm,
Am I working that hard to get, I mean, Dean Excellence?
mm,
I never used to be the one back home. I was like, I was fine. I know I was the mid child
mm,
my whole school. And I think I get too comfortable in that. I was like, nah, I want that 90s in every unit I
yeah.
do. I need, I have to be perfect just to myself. It's not a pressure. It definitely, I love being perfect.
Yeah,
I'm a Virgo,
absolutely.
guys, so
I'm a Virgo too.
too.
When
So
is
we
your birthday?
love being perfect.
When is your birthday?
I just told you last month,
September something.
September something. We know each other from school, guys, and she even don't remember my birthday.
Wait, do you remember my
Yeah,
when?
31 August.
Oh,
Do you feel
yeah,
ashamed?
I do.
Do you want to
I'm
take a
so
moment to
sorry.
deflect?
Wait, when is let me have a guess.
You did that last month as well.
Did I?
There were 20 guesses.
September 12th.
Okay, guys, we're gonna celebrate my birthday on 12 September this year because Disha said that my birthday is on
No, no,
12.
no. Okay,
Yeah,
let me
no.
have another guess. Um,
Another guest.
is
Yeah.
it on September 12th? Or no,
No. No, but
eight.
this year it's gonna be on 12.
Shut up. 18th. 18th.
Here we go! Fine,
I
yeah.
win.
You win.
Yeah, I win. See. No, I was thinking. I knew it was between 10 to 20,
Yeah, there's no excuse when
but I
there's
was
no
like,
excuse.
oh
You
yes,
can't make an
okay,
excuse when you
sure,
forget
sorry
someone's
guys.
birthday. But yeah, we are Virgos, guys. We
Yeah,
love our
perfectionism.
shits. Yeah.
But I think here I've realized that I don't have to be perfect all the time as well. Like, I can just be. I don't have to like dress up and be the perfect
Fair.
person every single time, or like I can make mistakes. This was so hard for me to say back home, and I'm like, oh, I can make mistakes. No, you cannot. Who
Mhm.
told you that? That's the question that
Question.
you'll get asked.
Mhm.
But here you're like, it's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay to ask for help. And at work, at places want help at during my study, I actually go out and ask for help if I don't know how to do something. And this also took a lot of time. I don't think I ever did it in my first year. I never asked for help. I was like, I can do it all by myself. I don't need you, whatever. Second year, most of the time, I was like, nah,
No.
I don't need you, I can do my stuff, like very hyper
Hyper.
independent
Yeah.
stuff. Even this year, like, as much as I try to like seek out for help,
Mm.
I still try to create that balance where I'm doing things by myself, because I really like how I do things as compared to
But
like
what people told us,
people
hey,
do
do
it.
that. You
Yeah,
should do that. I'm like,
exactly.
no.
I want to like think with my own mind and
My,
do things that I make, because I really like how I think, how I make
my,
work
nah.
done and stuff. Like, I don't want you to like come and tell me to do this, you
Do
know?
this. I think it's not bad to get help. I think we have grown up like that, you know. You
Mm.
should do that. You should be back at this
Especially when you are
time.
a woman.
As a woman coming from a good part of India,
Yeah.
I love my hometown, but at the same time, nah,
Mm-mm. See, my family has been really supportive
Mm.
in terms of, because my parents have raised me as a person who's not afraid to be opinionated,
Oh. Mhm.
or is not afraid to like put out my voice, even though as a woman too.
Mm.
um and like my parents raised me in a way that I stand right next to a guy and I'll be equally able to do everything that a guy can.
Mm.
um be it in any dimension, be it academic, be it sports, be it any dimension, my parents made sure that I was there, equally standing with a guy. But you know, even though if your parents are like really supportive, the other social
So the
surrounding,
society,
the society,
society,
because it's a collectivist culture
sure,
and they get a lot to say, which they should not. Like, sometimes people really need to shut up.
sure. I think I do agree. My
Yeah.
parents was supportive enough,
Mm.
but as we say, we have a
Society.
society, and we live in that
Society.
society.
Yeah.
We have a good reputation.
And people like cross your boundaries, but
Oh.
I didn't know the concept of boundaries back
You wanna
home
hear something
actually.
funny?
Yeah.
So there was a time when we sell our car,
Mm.
and our neighbors went and tell everyone that we are broke.
Mm.
That's why we
Yeah.
sell a car. I'm
And
like,
like, that's none of your
and we were
business.
just buying a car next week. We just decided to sell
See,
1 week
even
before.
rumors, they just make random rumors.
I was like, we are broke, we sell a car. And then boom, next week we got a new car. Yes,
Yeah, we got
broke.
rich again.
Bro.
Broke for 1 week, rich
Rich
again.
again. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
Mind your own
exactly.
business.
My
I'm like, if I'm broke, will you give me money?
Yeah, give us money, then we'll accept.
Yeah.
No refund,
I would
no loans.
I would not even say no.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm broke.
Ghar ki Lakshmi.
Aati Lakshmi ko nahi
Yeah.
rokte.
I feel like for me, one of the examples that I remember, so back in like I feel like 2019 or something,
Mm.
um I was taking a shower. I come back from a shower. There's this neighbor auntie who's lying on her bed. She's sleeping.
Where?
And I come back from a shower, and this
Are we
neighbor.
supposed to do that? Go
Exactly. This
someone.
neighbor auntie is sleeping on our bed. Um, and I'm just getting out of a shower. Okay, I have like whatever. So,
Far out,
and then
man.
I was like, "Oh, hi, auntie," and then she's like,
Whoa.
"You took so much time in the shower. I have been sleeping for like 30 minutes. You didn't get out of the shower." And I was like, it's my house, I think. Yeah, sure.
Damn.
And then you can't say that, right? You just do that uncomfortable giggle. And then she's like, so
That
what's
awkward silence.
yeah, and then she's like, she continues, okay. I should have gone, but my stupid ass stayed. So she continues and she's like, so what's your next plan? At this point, I'm like hardly in eighth class, like you are eight, okay.
Also, the next plan for the life, not for the day.
N-
Like she was
I
asking what you
yeah,
doing next, but
yeah, next plan for the day and life, both together.
interesting.
So I was like, I'm gonna go dress up. As you can see, I got off a shower. And it's summer, so I'll also sleep like you are sleeping. And then she's like, disappointing.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to do. You
And
are a girl. You should learn how to cook.
I
And
really
then
want
she proceeds
this.
to tell my mom, and she's like, you should start teaching her how to cook. She should make dinner for the family tonight. She's grown enough. She's 13. Now she should be doing this stuff. And I was like, that's when I became rebellious. I used to love cooking, okay, because it wasn't pressured on me. And I used
Mm.
to like do some like fun stuff once in a week, and I used to make food because I loved it, because no one pressurized me to do that. The moment that auntie made that comment, I did
Yes.
not make food in my house.
I think that's one of the reason I never learned to cook.
Yeah.
I still leave alone. I don't know how to cook, and I think I'm not learning it purposely because it feels like someone like women should know how to cook. I will not cook, so someone can cook for
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like aunties
Mm.
in India have too much audacity, which they should not
Yeah.
have. And
Aunties, bro, every person out there.
exactly, like she should have minded her own business, and but she like proceeds to like invade my personal space and make comments which are nowhere
True.
suitable. Like, if you want to have your own opinion, keep it to yourself.
And I think being auntie and judging is still understandable. Like you have passed through that course, you know
I
it.
don't care. I
But
don't understand your
someone
past.
judging and it's your age. I'm
Yeah,
like, dude.
that's an ick.
I'm like, grow up, man. Nah,
Exactly.
nah, you can't.
Last to last day, when I went back to India for the first time, the same auntie asked me,
Same auntie. You
yeah,
have a beef with her.
I have a beef with this auntie. The same auntie asked me, so how much are you earning in Australia? None of your business. I'm not even gonna give you 1 cent
More
of
than
what
your
I
son,
will earn.
auntie.
And then she's like, so when are you sending money back home? And then I was like, first of all, I've gone there to study. I'm not like working there.
Mhm.
And none of your business again. She's not even blood related. She's a neighbor, literally a neighbor.
She loves sleeping in your bed.
Yeah.
So
She just comes. She does not have AC in her house. Comes to our house to sleep in
she
AC.
want a AC. She wants you to send money so we can
Yeah,
have another AC.
AC.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if giving her an AC solves this issue forever,
Yeah.
I'd love to.
Fair, man. But
But yeah, here I've met people from so many different cultures,
cultures.
and it's so fun because like you keep seeing these reels of Gujaratis carrying thepla wherever they go.
Hmm.
I never saw it until I was in Australia, and I was at one of the multicultural festival.
Mm,
And there's this Gujarati guy that comes to me, and he's like super fresh. He's like just came to Australia
mm.
for the first time. He's 18, and he's like proper mama's boy. And then he comes to me and is like, "Can you please show me around? I don't know where to go in the multicultural festival."
Mm.
And I was like, "Yeah, sure, don't worry." And then he's like, "Oh, I'll give you tepla." And I was like,
Whoa. I mean,
"Very nice, mate. Very nice."
such a fair deal.
Yeah.
I will give you thepla. You make me.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then I was taking him around the multicultural festival,
Mm.
and he's like, "Thepla."
Thepla.
And the moment one thepla
Yeah.
finishes, it's like
Mm.
thepla,
Thepla.
thepla. And I've never had thepla
Okay.
before this.
One stall thepla, another stall thepla.
Thepla. So many theplas I had.
I
It
think
was
I
fun though.
love that part of Australia.
Yeah. Even you get to meet people from your own country in a
Country,
different way,
way
which you
there.
haven't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that guy still acted shit, so never mind. Theplas are the only things that count.
Oh no. Oh no.
But isn't it like just a guy's behavior?
Typical men's behavior. Even though my dad is watching, sorry, dad. We are talking about boys.
um okay, so in terms of meeting your school friends in Australia, how does it feel when you meet like people that you're meeting for the
It's
first time
definitely
and
having.
creating friendships versus
Yeah.
people you already knew?
It's definitely like, having a home away
Mhm.
from home. It's just a feeling can't be described in the words. It's just a warm feeling, you know. You
Yeah.
know my past. You know how far we have came. You have seen me getting changed to being a different person. Even though we were not that close back
Yeah.
in the school,
I don't think we were close at all.
I don't.
We just knew that she existed and she knew I
I think
existed.
we
That's
talked
it.
about it last week.
Yeah.
I just knew that she was one of the girl
In my
in us,
class.
and
In
she
our
was
school. She is
in the
she's
school.
like in the
I
school,
didn't
not
knew that
even in the
she was.
class at this point.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you were in my class, but I knew that she's in the like a topper group,
Hmm.
and I was a backbencher, bro. I
Yeah.
was like backbenchers and topper people never go
We don't
along.
match.
I hardly used to go school, and when I used to go, I used to be out all the time.
Yeah.
Not purposely, guys. I was asked to be go,
Mm.
but yeah.
Oh, so you were
Whenever I
thrown out
enter
of
the
the
class,
class.
the teacher was like,
Get out.
get out.
You don't belong here.
Yeah, I was in the wrong club,
Yeah.
but I love that club.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's two fun times. We have 5 minutes left, so I'm
Mm.
gonna ask the last segment, which is, how were your thoughts about me in school versus here, and then I'm gonna tell my thoughts about you in school versus here.
As I say, in the school, I only know you as, you know how topper people are. They just wanna study and don't wanna indulge out, make friends, and sorry to say, but I feel like they see us as a downgraded person who never wanna
Hmm.
study. That's totally my, you know, my thoughts about what they think. Um, yeah, and I never said hi to you because I feel like you're gonna feel uncomfortable around me. And moving here, I was like, I see a side of you, which I feel, wow, that's how a woman should be. That a confident version and not caring what other people think about. Because I used to give a lot of shit what people used to think about me back home, and I changed when I came here. So I was like, yes, that's my girl,
Mm.
and yeah, definitely. So that's one of your side I would mention.
Thank you. Um, for me, back in school, I just knew you existed. That's why I
Yeah,
knew your Parnamika
just
name.
Panamika.
Yeah,
Yeah, my name is
that's
out in the social now.
yeah, and I never really, saw a spark for us to be friends. So when back in school,
Um,
I was
wait a moment. Let's have 30 seconds of awkward silence here. We don't have a spark. Okay.
because you just never felt like my vibe, and
Mm-hmm.
like we always had different groups, and
But do you think it was never a vibe? Or
I felt like because I just remember that one. I think the only memory of you, for me back in school, is you in a high ponytail and wearing the school suit. That's it. I have never talked to her. I don't even remember anything that you did. Who were the people that you used to hang out with?
Wi-
I just
I
knew
don't
she
remember them
existed.
either.
This is Barnamika. This is how she looks. That's it.
That's it.
That's what I knew about her. But when I moved to Australia, so first of all, she was the first person I called before coming to Canberra.
Mhm.
And when I talked to you at that time, I just felt like she's weird. Um,
Excuse me.
because
Excuse me.
no, as much
Weird
as
in the sense, did I say something stupid?
no, as much as I really appreciated all the help, but I just felt like it was a bit cold because I was like, "Oh, can you tell me this?" And she's like, "You'll get to know when you come here." And I
I
was like,
mean, what I meant to say, I can't put out my experience on you. It
"Yeah,
gonna put more pressure. That was my thought. I was like, if I'm gonna tell, and she was like,
yeah,
I
exactly."
should not
But
come.
at that time, I was like, oh, "Isn't that a bit weird?" But
Oh,
um,
yeah, weird
but
me.
then because she really like helped me in understanding what clothes to carry, what utensils and things I would need, I was like, oh, she's helpful.
Helpful.
One point.
Mhm.
And but here, when I actually met you and got to know you,
Mm.
you just feel so much like my vibe now. I was like, that's because we never chatted in school,
And I
so we
think
never
that's
knew.
not something new I'm hearing. I think I have my resting faces. Don't talk to me. But I love yapping. I
Yeah,
love talking. I love,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
And then when I first met you, um, in in
Somewhere
ANU
in
in semester
ANU,
one,
yeah.
we had so much fun. We made ice cream and we like chatted, and I was like, wait, is this the same Parnamika from my school, which I just thought is weird? But like, she's so
So
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a cool girl.
But one of the things that I love, and it's so recent because the last time we caught up, I have never seen a person being so strong that you were on that day, because that was just amazing. That was like mind blowing for me as well. So her dog passed away when we were on the way, and the she started crying, which was very valid, but at the same time she was back to normal in 10 minutes. And that's the amount of resilience and strength I have never seen. And that was something that I feel like I've reflected on so much. It is so inspiring. And just to even think about it, because my pet also passed away when I was in Australia,
Mm.
and I know how it feels and how depressing it can get. And this, I had the same reaction. So it was on the day of my brother's birthday in 2023 when my pet passed away. And I was crying and crying and crying, and I wasn't stopping, right? Um, Even though my parents didn't tell me he passed away, but I knew in my heart that,
Mm.
he's no
Mm.
longer there.
Mm.
But when that thing happened, and when I saw you and you were back to like normal in 10 minutes, and that was also so much strength, because I knew the grief and the pain was still there, but also trying to not ruin what we are doing at
Mm.
that moment, and
Mhm.
just like also having that sense of gratitude for the life that the pet had, and then moving on with a bright smile, not like actually being sad about it. That was so inspiring. Like, I feel like whenever I think about you now, I just get inspired by that little scene so much. Like, every time I feel like she is the most powerful and resilient person I've seen in a long, long while.
Oh, I'm
And
flattered.
yeah, that has been one of the most inspiring moments for me.
Mm.
And I feel like when I look at you, because you also like work and hustle and like do all those things,
Mm.
like I just feel so much like myself, because that's exactly what
Exactly
I
what I
do.
do. Yeah.
And
Being all over.
yeah,
Every department in uni should know my name.
exactly. And you can see that passion. You
Passion.
can see why you want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
because you actually are concerned about things, and
Mm.
it's not just you're doing it for fun. You actually have a purpose behind it, and
Mm.
you are doing it because you are here to do something. You're not here to just like chill and time pass, because you could do it easily with a luxury life back home.
Mm.
But like actually building yourself is such a huge step. And like that's such a different moment, because like back home I was like, this person and I would never vibe. To hear where she's so much similar to how I think and I
Mm.
do things, and just seeing yourself, and it's not just friendships and things that make you laugh, but also moments that inspire you.
And I think before we wrap up, I will definitely say, I mean, things happen. I mean, grief is the feeling which can't be described. Everyone has a different way to grieve, right? But ignoring the fact where you are, and you're like, oh, this happened in my life. You all stop and act the way I want to act. That's not how life
Yeah.
works.
And in that moment, that would be super understandable too.
But still, that's not how life works.
Yeah,
I
the show
mean,
must go on.
it's okay to, you just gotta be,
Yeah.
you change yourself according to the
And we had
situation and
so
person.
much fun that day.
Oh, and I cried
She
once.
cried a
I
lot.
left
The
you
place, I
guys,
know.
and I cried the whole night. I didn't sleep for next 1 week
Yeah.
properly, but that time I was like, nah.
I feel like, and just those moments, because like when we were together, I
Hmm.
feel like you weren't really thinking that much about that
Hmm.
grief.
I was forcing myself not to.
Yeah,
But
but that was a really fun time and a core memoy for us. But I feel like in those fun moments, you just learn so much about the other person, and that was strength. That was so much power in that particular instance. That was the most powerful thing I've seen, and really, really, so much power to you for doing that.
but I was with the right person. I'm so glad it was you and not anyone else. I don't know why, but I'm so glad that it was just you.
I'm glad.
You're glad.
All right.
Alrighty.
So with
Time to
this,
wrap.
we are wrapping up our session, our podcast, our yapping session.
Session.
I hope everyone who tuned in had a fun time, and I hope to see you all next week. And you
See
can
ya.
you'll see Ria
Yeah,
anywhere
here
in
and there.
Canberra. Just like say
Follow
hi.
Disha. Go and follow on Insta. I'm always there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you all next week.
See
Thank
ya. Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.